So, shall I start?
Yes, please. Yes, start.
So, a very good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be a part of Arogyam's diabetes support group and share my thoughts on today's topic. For those who have attended my previous session on healthy eating, it's good to see you once again. And for those who are new here, let me introduce myself. So, I'm Dr. Kritika Pandey. I'm an Ayurvedic physician currently residing in Leeds, United Kingdoms. I take a holistic approach to address a concern of my patients, which means if I'm working with you, I will work on the whole body, not just your symptoms. And along with my practice in Ayurvedic medicine, I enjoy sharing my thoughts and knowledge with others and spread awareness regarding health conditions and Ayurvedic concept on various platforms. I'm also involved in research, and it further contributes to my critical thinking. So before I start my talk about the topic, I would like to request you all to participate as we progress, just like we did in our previous session, because the more we talk, it would be easier for us to share our feelings and address them. Now that I have brought the word feeling in our conversation, I have a question for you all. So for this, I would like to request you that whoever wishes to speak, please unmute yourself, share your thoughts. If you're comfortable with turning the camera on, then it's fine. If not, then also it's all right. But if you wish to share your thoughts on the chat box, that is also fine. And now my question is, how are your feelings now different from what your feelings were before you got diagnosed with diabetes? Is my question clear? Do I need to repeat my question to you?
I think repeat once more.
Yeah. So how your feelings now are different from what your feelings were before you got diagnosed with diabetes? Meaning what changed after you got diagnosed with diabetes with respect to your feelings?
I would answer that straight away. It will be, I think, a little bit scary. But once you know what you're doing, and if you get a right support from right person or right people, you can deal with it, and you can continue continue living your normal life rather than always scary what you're eating and what is right or what is not right. So that was a bit scary feeling after you get, like, even though I had a borderline, but that was a bit scary.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else? What changed after you got diagnosed with diabetes? As Usha ji shared, like it got a bit scary. You might get confused. You don't know what to do now, what to eat, what not. So you can share that. You can even write on the chat box.
I think some people can't do that, but a bit shy to say things. Somebody, please say it.
Good evening. May I say something?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yes, good evening to you, everybody. I'm Bipin Dattani, and I'm joining you from Harrow in Middlesex in the south. And I run something called a diabetes community club. And we have about 30 members. Some of them have been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. We don't have anybody with type 1 at the moment. But one thing everybody has in common, we can't understand why, even though we know that we shouldn't be eating certain types of food, why is it that we still can't control our cravings? The other thing we can't understand is we know that we must exercise every day, walking, that sort of thing. Why is it we always look for excuses for not doing it? And the next thing is, when we're stuck in a traffic jam that we can do nothing about, why do we allow ourselves to feel so stressed? There's nothing you can do about the traffic that's in front of you. So it's about behavioral change, and it's about psychologically trying to become a bit more disciplined. Your mind says you want to do something, but your heart doesn't follow. And that's a common theme that we have across all of the members of my diabetes community club. And I just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you. Hossuben has a hand up. Hossuben? You want to say something?
I agree with you. I was scared, really, really scared that I'm on a borderline. What am I going to do? How am I going to cope with it? But you were there to help me, and it helped me.
That's very kind of you. Thank you.
So thank you everybody for sharing how you feel. I understand it can be a bit challenging to do this in a group setting. However, it is very crucial to open up because there are two benefits of it. Number one is your issues are heard and therefore it can be addressed. And number two is it also helps those who are listening to you and could possibly relate to you. Now coming to today's topic, food and emotion link in diabetes. Just a reminder, my talk today will be more concentrated on type 2 diabetes. So before we talk about food and emotion, let us understand what is happening in your body in conditions like diabetes. For a start, let me present you a scenario which will make everything more comprehensible. Let's say you hosted a party at your place, and this party is a whole day event. The list of guests is long, and you prefer to be more involved with the guest than managing your place. So what you do is you hire a house help to take care of this situation. Now there are two possibilities. Number one, your guests are actively participant in making things easier for your house help, like they're taking care of their food, their plates, and etc. And the house help is now able to manage everything efficiently in the lack of too much of chaos. The other possibility is that your guests are entirely dependent on your house help. So initially it's fine and manageable. But after a while, your house help must work harder to compensate for everyone. It takes a toll on a single person, and as the party progresses, your house help is unable to work efficiently. So remember, this one-time party, this is the one-time event that I'm talking about. The party here refers to the food you eat, which is not a one-time event. And the behavior of your guest refers to your diet and lifestyle choices. The house help air here refers to a chemical in your body named as insulin. So, what happens in type 2 diabetes is that this chemical is unable to function properly. Some of you might be wondering what is the role of insulin? So, put simply, when you eat something, it breaks down into glucose. What is glucose? It is a sugar. This is why in diabetes we say we have high blood sugar levels, which means high glucose level. So this sugar is taken to the cell of your body by insulin. Therefore, the role of insulin is to help your body get energy from what you eat. Let us say that your diet and lifestyle choices are not favorable for your body. So for some time, the insulin will work properly. If your choices continue for the longer period of time, the insulin will try to match and compensate for the loss. However, after a while, it cannot. So now you have insulin which either cannot work efficiently or you do not have enough insulin to carry the sugar to your cell. In this case, your body is generating glucose or sugar from the food you consume, but it cannot be properly used by your body. Therefore, your test says high blood sugar level, as the sugar is just sitting in your bloodstreams and body, causing complications. Now, another question to you is, what do you think can make it better? What have you tried to make it better? Please unmute yourself or comment in the chat box. What have you tried yet?
I have tried exercise. So means like I have to do it every day. If I don't do it few days, and then I can feel it. My body will tell me, and then I get more tired. I get more lazier, and like Bipin Bhai was saying that everybody get frustrated while you are waiting for something. all those symptoms is coming back if I don't do exercise and I don't control what I'm eating. For example, I have to stop eating the white stuff. It's like a white sugar, white flour. I stop. I'm not completely stopped, but I'm just taking care of it, and I'll try and eat it what is good for the people with borderline diabetes or maybe diabetes, whatever. But I'm just controlling myself. That's how.
Shreya is calling.
Yeah.
I think. Do you have something to say?
Do you want to say anything?
Yes, I have a change of diet and lots of exercise. That's what I have changed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Anything?
Yeah, Mr. Bipin.
I've done two things which have had a very positive and, in my opinion, dramatic effect. I've taken up intermittent fasting, and I've cut down on portion sizes. And I'm pleased to tell you, unexpectedly, I have enjoyed weight loss, and I feel a lot more energetic as a result.
Yeah, while intermittent fasting can work for some people, it might not for others. So it's very important to discuss it with an expert whether to try it or not. Anybody else?
So for intermittent fasting, I have tried it. I couldn't go all the way through. So I only went half a way, and I find it a bit nervous. When it's half day goes through, and then my body will telling me I'm bigger, I need to eat. And then when that time, I'll eat more than I was eating. Yeah. So I stopped doing that, and I'll continue what I'm doing on the regular basis.
Yeah. For everybody, it's a bit different. Even if you're about to start intermittent fasting, it's very important that you discuss with someone how to start with it, how to do that. Yes. Because there are various steps, not just go into it all at once, just various steps.
So we teach that.
Hello?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, first, and then Lucy.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll go first. There are many members of my diabetes community club who've joined today. I can see their names, and they might want to contribute to the debate. We actually teach different intermittent fasting ideas and regimes, and we show people how to start small and then work to a 8-16 is the one that people try and target for, but they can start with 12 and so on. Anyway, so I agree with you that intermittent fasting is something that you need to take on carefully. You need to check with your diabetes nurse or GP, but I found it amazingly simple because most of the fasting time was overnight when I'm sleeping. So I found it very, very easy, to be honest with you. Thank you.
Lucy?
Yes. The dietitian told me it's dangerous to do intermittent fasting because your blood sugar goes so low, and then you eat a lot, and then it spikes up too high. So, and that's not good for you.
As I said, it's obviously different for everybody. That is why it's very important to take a personal consultation before you choose for intermittent fasting. For some people can handle it better, the others cannot. It's very different from everybody. It's not good, it's not bad. It totally depends on an individual who's using it.
Okay.
So,
anyone?
So can I continue now?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I have a couple of questions on the chart. Exercise gets stiff, otherwise drop sugar, but temptation to have a sweet item high. Cut down on the sweet food. Yeah, that's all you have.
So I will also talk about the when you cut down the sugar and then you crave for sugar at the last. We can address this question at the last.
Yeah, continue. Yeah, thank you.
So just have a look at how it all started. So the answer will be very simple. So it all started with your diet and lifestyle choices you made, which were not the best for your body. Now, some of you can argue that it is in my genes, so it is inevitable. But fortunately, it is not true. While your genes play a vital role, but your personal choices can outweigh your genes. So if you remember from the last session, I told you that there are 3 ways to manage any health condition: your diet, your lifestyle, and medication. But these things can only work if we understand that everything in our body is interconnected. Working on your whole body will work on your overall health. So one such interesting connection is the one between your gut and your brain. So this connection is also known as the gut-brain axis. Now we all know that diabetes is a metabolic disorder, meaning it has some issues with your body's metabolism. So you do understand that it is related to gut, but how to the brain? So remember, the gut-brain axis is a two-way route. What is happening in your brain is going to affect your gut, and what is happening to your gut will affect your brain. And all of the emotions are either directly or indirectly regulated by your brain. Now, another question is, how many of you have noticed that your blood sugar level went high after a stressful situation?
I have noted it sometimes that when you like have an argument or somebody just telling you something and which you don't like it, or maybe you saying something to others, and your body is automatically get very hyper, and then you can feel it. You shake, you cry, you whatever. It's so many emotional things going on and on and on in my body.
So does anybody else has felt that your blood sugar level went high after a stressful situation?
Yes. Again, same thing happens. Even a small thing upsetting or done in the wrong way sometimes just throws you like a gaga. And it happens very, very rapidly as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So we all know that it is common. We often hear from diabetic patients that my level went high because I was very stressed. Even in my practice, I've seen that a stressful condition leads to a higher sugar spike when compared to a sugar spike after eating a small amount of sweet food item. So do you understand what is happening here? This stressful situation is interfering with your metabolism. Your body's capacity to digest and absorb the digested food has been compromised. Similar will be the response from other emotions like feeling anger, anxiety, frustration, depression. All these emotions lead to a compromised metabolism. But again, remember, a compromised metabolism, that is a compromised digestion and absorption of your food, can also give rise to these emotions. Because as I said earlier, it is a two-way route. The issue here is that we do not pay enough attention to these emotions. The existence and the impact of these emotions are often questionable just because it cannot be seen. However, this is not the truth. There are changes happening in your body while these emotions develop or get worse. If it was not the case, then why would the term like happy hormones or stress hormones would be so widespread? I'm not asking you to accept a theory just because it has been said by scholars. It is important that you come in terms with this matter. So I will share a few day-to-day experience to better establish the gut-brain axis. So you might know a few people who often rush to washroom to poo before an exam or an event or an interview they are very anxious about. All of the sudden, they are unable to hold what they just ate, and it needs to be evacuated. This is the act of their anxious feeling. And now you have also seen some people who are very excited about the event and they say that they feel butterflies in their belly. Is there really any butterfly in their belly? I don't think so. This simply is a sensation of a feeling that is excitement, which your brain conveys to your gut. Now I have given you 2 examples. Now it's your turn. Tell me some examples when your emotions affected your gut or where your gut affected your emotions. Do you want me to repeat the question? Give me some examples where your emotion have affected your gut or your digestion, or your gut has affected your emotion. Do you have any examples?
Well, I do get constipated very often.
Yeah.
Because of that, I get constipated. Is it common?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
if your stress are not well managed, it does lead to constipation. Constipation does get worse if you don't manage stress.
Yeah, I just go for past the urinate. So if I have to go somewhere and then I get very excited and I have to go few times before I go out.
Yeah.
So I don't know, is it stress, is it excitement, or it is whatever, emotional, whatever it is. Yeah.
Anybody else would like to share something?
Lack of sleep.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what happens? What do you feel in your body due to the lack of sleep? When you get indigestion, then you lose. Then there is a problem with your sleeping.
Yeah, you can't sleep properly, or when you're tired and now your blood sugar will rise. So
yeah. So till now, I think comparatively we have a clearer picture about the fact that both the gut and the brain are linked. So in case of diabetes, sometimes we can see that an external reason has caused stress, due to which there is a spike in the blood sugar level. While in some cases, we have also seen that there is no obvious reason to feel the way you do, but you are feeling low. And once you check your blood sugar level, it is high. This suggests that a compromised metabolism can make you feel the way you do. What I'm trying to say here is that what you eat and how you feel are linked to each other. You can eat everything right, but if you do not feel right, your body will not be able to utilize what you eat. So it is important to address your brain as well as your gut. The good news here is, since these two are interconnected, working on one of them will affect the other as well. So I will share a few tips on how you can work on your gut and brain collectively. Number 1 is your diet. First thing first, you need to understand the thing that whatever is unhealthy for you is unhealthy for everyone. Getting diagnosed with diabetes only asks for some extra attention. You still need a balanced diet. There is still no need to completely exclude the carbs and fats from your diet. This procedure becomes very much convenient if you understand the process. As I told you, your insulin is not able to consume the sugar available in your body. So what we have to do is choose for the food items that will convert into glucose gradually. For example, the food items with higher fiber contents take longer to be converted into glucose. So when we consume processed sugar, you're straight away burdening your body with the sugar, which your body is unable to use efficiently. So this is why you get the cravings. So what is happening here? You ate something, the sugar is in your bloodstream, but it is not converted into the energy. So you crave more carbohydrate, more sugary stuff. But then you eat it again, and the same thing will happen unless and until you address it, unless and until you work on your whole body. So if you have attended my previous session, you must be aware that not only it is important to know what to eat, it is also important to know how to eat. So if you are still confused on what to eat and how to eat, you can visit Arogyam's YouTube account, where Dr. Joshi has shared his insight on what to eat in diabetes. You can also have a look at my session on eating healthy to understand how to eat. Now, coming back to the topic, the second way to cope with this condition is your lifestyle. Again, my question is to you, how do you keep yourself active? You exercise, what kind of exercise you often do? I will repeat my question again. How do you keep yourself active? What kind of exercises you do?
Aerobics.
Lucy?
Aerobics.
Something, Lucy? Yes.
Sorry.
Are you saying something? Yes.
No, I said aerobics.
Aerobics, yeah.
Yeah. I start with the yoga, and first of all, I did the meditation, and then whatever I eat with the mindfulness. So that's also help.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Yeah, Vipin bhai.
So, so I have to be honest, I struggle to find time to exercise. So the only way for me to do it is to combine it with another task that I know
will talk
I have
about
to
it
do.
in this session only.
Yes. And what I tend to do at home, I have a mini gym that I've constructed. And the only way that I will go on the treadmill, for example, is if I'm also doing something else like my laptop work or something. And so I've actually built a shelf next to the treadmill where I can place my laptop on it or my tablet PC, and I can do my work and be on the treadmill, which then sparks off another thought in my mind. When I'm sitting at my desk, why don't I also do something with my legs and some kind of exercising while I'm actually sitting at my desk? And that's something I'm looking into.
Yeah. I also do, like when I make a tea or coffee, that few minutes you can just move about, move your legs side, front, up and down, whatever you can.
Usha Ben, on the same principle then, see, I'm sitting right now in front of my Zoom and I'm totally still. I don't have to be. I know it'll look ridiculous if I was doing this sort of thing to you. Yeah, because I'd be doing my legs like that. I know it'll look ridiculous if you saw me like that, but I think it should be excused and people should allow it, because there's no harm in everybody. If everybody was doing something like this, then it wouldn't look strange anymore. But at the moment, I'm just sat absolutely still when I don't have to be, you see. But people are shy to exercise whilst they're on Zoom or doing some work, and that's a shame.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a shame. It's about the balance. We should not do everything all the time. There's always a time for each and everything. Some things go well with certain situations, some things do not.
Yeah, when we just listening, we can do that. We can keep our video off and do that. But when we have to interact, we have to sit and
you have to pay attention.
and
You have to listen. Yeah.
be kind to others. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, walking. Yeah, walking is also really good. So Ayurveda has something really interesting to say about exercises. Like it says, you should do what you love. Exercise is a way to keep your body moving. It is not a punishment. So you do not like to go to the gym, go join the dance class. You do not like it either, do yoga. If your schedule is very busy, simply go for a walk. What I'm trying to say here is make excuses to remain active, but not under every situation, obviously. But this can sometimes require building a habit. However, building a new habit can be a little daunting. An excellent way to do this is by incorporating habit stacking. That's what Mr. Bipin was talking about. Am I right, Mr. Bipin?
Yes, you are. You are right. Absolutely right.
So I will just simplify what habit stacking is. So we can say that it's a process where you just add a new habit in your existing daily habit. So there are certain activities in your life which we perform on a daily basis, and we are so habitual of them that we do not miss it. In habit stacking, what we do is we fit in the new habit along with the existing habit. Let me give you a very simple example. Let's say if your daily habit is to take the shower and then have a breakfast. Here, you can tell yourself that right after taking the shower, I will meditate for a few minutes and then eat breakfast. So what you are doing here is like, instead of making separate time to meditate, you are simply stacking it with the habit that you do not miss to perform every day. Am I clear?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
It
Okay.
does.
And then furthermore, if you lack motivation to perform yoga exercise by yourself at home, I suggest you can work with an expert so that they can help you in the process. Because there are various yogas and breath work and meditation technique which will help in your digestion as well as emotion management. Now, there are certain misconceptions around meditation and breath work. And the most common one, the one that I have heard, is that there should not be any thoughts going on in your mind while you perform meditation. While I think starting with this approach is a bit brutal because your mind wanders and there is nothing wrong about it. In fact, the purpose of these techniques is rather to connect with yourself. So the simplest and the easiest way to start with is just simply closing your eyes, relaxing your body, and bringing your attention to the natural rhythm of your breathing. And while you do this, just try to concentrate on your inhalation and exhalation. And if by chance you get distracted, just tell yourself it's fine, it's completely okay. Slowly bring back your attention to your breath and continue. Now, I will just give you 2 minutes to try this. And once you're done, you can share if there is any problem. So can we start with this simple exercise?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes, yes.
So for this, I request everybody to just close your eyes. Relax your body. Relax your brows. Unlock your jaw. And relax the shoulder. Now gradually bring your focus to your breath. Keep focusing on your breath as you inhale and exhale. And if you're getting distracted, it is okay. Slowly bring back your attention to your breath. Just continue this for a minute. You can now slowly open your eyes. Now share, did anybody of you find it difficult?
In a few breaths, I can concentrate. Then again, it's wander round again.
Yeah.
I have to bring it back, wander round, bring it
It's
back.
fine. It's fine if it wanders. It's fine. It's your brain. That's what it does. It's fine. You get just distracted, just bring yourself back. That's it.
I was constantly being distracted and constantly trying to bring myself back. Constantly.
You just have to do this very slowly. You got distracted. It's fine. The place where you were, just stay there for a bit. Realize, okay, I'm somewhere else. Okay, I have to gradually bring myself back. Not all of this and why I'm doing this, why I'm thinking that. Not like that. It's okay to think like that because it's your mind. It will wander like that. So if you're there, just realize, okay, okay, maybe I'm getting distracted. So what am I thinking? Okay, fine, it's okay. Just be in that moment, then gradually come back. Not all at once. Not be harsh on yourself. Oh, I cannot be distracted. I think we can now move to our third point. So the number 3 way to cope up with this is medication, for sure. Again, there are various herbs and natural medicines available which can help your gut as well as your mental health. However, it is crucial to understand that it is important to work with an Ayurvedic physician before incorporating any herb in your diet. Because as I said earlier, what works for one may not work for another. And it is absolutely possible to control your blood sugar level using an integrative approach. And if we talk about the number 4th point, which is very important, is addressing your emotions. So does anybody like to share like how they work on their emotions? How do you work on your emotions?
Cry sometimes.
That is also
Okay.
I have to admit to you, I tell all the participants of my diabetes community club, you must be disciplined. You must do this. You must maintain discipline. And I'm the least disciplined person in the diabetes community club. So what works for me, and I've noticed this, and I'm just being honest with you, what works for me is if I were to make a promise to a friend, then my personal reputation is at stake if I don't carry out the promise. And I care a lot about my personal reputation, it turns out to be. So if I promise someone I will not eat as much cheese as I do every day, I will eat half the amount. If I had to promise that to somebody else, then I will do it. But if I had to promise it to myself, I'm useless at the discipline. So that's how I work on my emotions, is I use peer group support, and I get along with a lot of help from my friends. Oh, by the way, I should quickly add, if I made a promise to my own wife, I don't keep it. I don't keep it.
okay. So when we are talking about emotions, like with diabetes comes the anxiety about what will happen next. With diabetes comes the anger and frustration that why did it happen to me? Why am I not able to perform or feel the way I used to? With diabetes comes the fear and stress of what to eat and what not to eat, what to do and what not to do. With diabetes also comes the guilt after overeating what you love. And going through all these feelings is not easy. It is important to come in terms with what you feel. See, you cannot heal from something you do not acknowledge. So it is crucial to know the cause. This is why awareness of these emotions is very important. If you avoid it, it will return. For example, let's say you're sad and you think a small vacation might fix it. It will be amazing for a while you're out and having fun. However, once you return to your environment, you will realize that those feelings are still lingering. So what you should do instead is you should allow yourself to feel it. Accept that these feelings are there and this is how it feels. But the trick here is not to add any story or judgment to your feelings. What I'm trying to say, like I'll just give you a simple example, like you feel anxious about your future. All you need to do is just allow your body to feel it. Tell yourself that this is how being anxious feels. Give yourself a few moments and then release that feeling. There is no need to add stories from your past experiences or your judgment to these feelings. For example, there is no need to think that this situation has happened to me in the past and then things got worse and then all of this will happen again. Instead, simply think about the present moment, not about your past, not about your future. Also, there is no need to judge yourself because you feel in a certain way. Just because you do not see the emotion does not make them any less important. The steps that I have shared right now requires practice. it will not happen overnight. But once you know how to incorporate it in your day-to-day life, it is way better than avoiding your feelings and finding short-time comfort in a trip. And then finally, I would like to say that the fact that we have separated mental health from physical health sometimes reflects that maybe one is more important than the other. However, both of them are associated with the changes within your body, and there is nothing foreign about mental health. And together, your physical health and mental health contribute to your overall health. Am I clear?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
now I would like to give charge to you to discuss about our today's session. And is there something new you have learned, or what is going to be your next step? So let's just begin the discussion.
I've got a question for you, doctor. What's the ideal distance one should walk on average in a week or on a daily basis?
Okay, that depends on your
I'm
body.
74 and type 2.
You're 74 and type 2. Have you tried any exercises yet?
No, I do once in a week or twice a week, do a bit of yoga at home with bit of pranayam. Otherwise, try and walk on an average about 5,000 steps every 3 days.
Okay, so are you comfortable with walking daily?
I can try. Sometimes I just being lazy and not trying, just getting motivated.
There's no ideal step. It also depends on how much you are comfortable with walking. So just try. If you're doing is three times a week or 4 times a week, just do it more often, and then see how long you can walk.
Yeah.
Even walking with 10 minutes after having meals twice a day works well for some people, and some people require walking more. So it totally depends on your body, what your body requires. So start with increasing the frequency of your walks, and then increase the amount you're going to walk for.
Right. Okay. And also, like Bipin, I put on the chat about can't resist chocolates, and I'm in the same boat. If I see a chocolate, I must taste it, and the whole of it, not a part of it.
So do you think this has
That's not
something?
on its own. Sorry.
So do you think this has something?
No, I like.
You can say, yeah.
No, I like Chris to go with it. Sorry. You asking?
Do you think this has something to do with you restricting yourself from not having chocolates most of the time?
No, sometimes I go for days on end without wanting anything.
Yeah.
And some days I just keep getting urged to eat, and
Yeah.
I just binge on certain days. I don't know. I just can't resist. Some day it doesn't make any effect. I don't miss it.
Yeah.
But some days I just get urge. I must have it.
Yeah. I've talked
Now,
about
is something my body telling me or just mind?
maybe it's both. Maybe it's both.
Sorry.
Maybe it's both. That's it. So
Okay,
sometimes
thank you.
that's I think I've told you about the craving thing. What happens? Your body is not able to consume the sugar that's already in your bloodstream. So that's what happened. Most of the time it's because of the imbalance, and most of the time it's about the restriction. Most of the time we restrict ourselves so much that whenever we get the chance to eat, we get crazy about it. Okay, finally eating it, because we have been restricting ourselves for very long. So that is your mind playing. And another thing is your body is not unable to use the sugar the way it has to, and then it requires more sugar. So all of a sudden you want to eat more sugar. That's your body doing the part. So it's both your mind and your body. All you have to do is, while you do all these, like the things that I have shared today, all you're trying to do is just bring in the balance. That's it.
Okay. And a final point, will there be a recording available of this session? Because I missed first 20 minutes. I was on something else. So
Yes.
Is there a recording of this particular session?
Yes, there will be.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Bipin back.
Okay, another moment of total honesty with you at my own expense. I feel rewarded when I have a bar of chocolate. I do not feel rewarded when I resist it. And that's my difficulty. If I could pat myself on the back and say, look, you didn't eat that bar of chocolate, even though it was just in front of you. Aren't you a fantastic guy? And if I got rewarded somehow for not eating it, I think it might work for me, but I don't get rewarded for not eating it.
It is, I think, according to me, it's just you are authorizing the food. You are giving the emotion and the feeling to the food. You are doing that, not someone else.
Yes.
So you have to play that part.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the only thing that, sorry, I shouldn't talk about my wife in public, but the only thing she does is she said, I told you not to have it. But she never says, oh, well done for not having it.
Nice one.
So I get rewarded for eating it, you see, because I feel the sensation inside myself. I don't know what the chemicals are that makes me feel rewarded. But if I have a bar of chocolate, I feel great. I then want to go and have another bar of chocolate. I feel great. And then when I have another bar of chocolate, I feel great. But if I don't eat it, no good feelings come to me. And that's my problem.
That's what I've said. You give emotions to your food the way you have decided, okay, if I eat this, I will feel good. Even if you don't, because you have told yourself that you will feel good. So you will.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I was just being honest.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Anybody
to be
else?
very honest, when I don't do any exercise or any yoga or any walking, I feel I want to eat more sugar and more food, which is I'm not supposed to eat it. But when I do those yoga, asana, or meditation, I'm more likely to eat less food.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, because of those things, those modifications, you have brought in the balance that is required for your body. Now the sugar is consumed more by your body. You're not just eating and it's not just sitting there. It is now being utilized by your body because you have brought in those changes.
Can I share another thing? I'm sorry if I'm going on for too long.
Not because, not about your wife though.
No, not about my wife, no. Members of my diabetes community club know the following story because I've honestly admitted to it. I go for a walk, like a 2-hour, sometimes almost 3-hour walk every Sunday morning. But I've realized that the only reason I do it is because our lovely neighbors across the road from us, they go walking and they're the disciplined ones. I'm the undisciplined one. But if I didn't go, they would look at me in a funny way. And I can't stand it that they're going to look at me in that funny way. So to prevent embarrassment to myself and to uphold my own reputation with our neighbors across the road, I will go and I'll never miss it. When I go for the walk, I utterly love it because it's a forest scene. There's deer there, there's a lake there and so on. So I do love the walk. If the following Sunday then, for some reason, the neighbors across the road did not go, then I would not go. Even though I love the walk the previous week. And I promise you, when I go there, I'll take carrots to feed the deer and I'll take the breadcrumbs to feed the ducks. And I love it. I take lots of photos and everything. So it's not that there's anything wrong with the walk. And I feel very good after my 2-3 hour walk. But if the neighbors across the road don't go, I've noticed I don't go. And that's an honest admission to you.
Is that the lady friend or the male friend?
I don't think I'm lazy because everybody.
Not lazy, lady.
Lady, okay. She brings her husband and my wife then says, well, if he's coming, and we then talk about everything under the sun during the 3-hour walk, recently about President Putin and the war, or whatever it is, or Liz Truss or whatever. And I love the conversations, okay? So I love it. But if there wasn't the pressure from them, I would find an excuse that I've got so much other work to do and all this nonsense, okay? And so I'm a great believer in peer group support. I guess that's the message I'm trying to give you. And if anybody's struggling to do the right thing, even though they know it's the right thing, they're still struggling, then I think befriending somebody and saying, will you look after my best interest if I look after your best interest? I think it might work for some people.
Yeah.
Thank you. Lucy, are you saying it's something?
No.
Oh, okay. Anybody else? No.
Mm.
Okay. Dr. Kritika, you carry on.
Finally, like I'd like to add, like if you would really, it would be really great if some of you can mention what topic you want us to address next for our next session. It can be related to something for the today from the today's topic or something else.
We can continue today's topic and add anything in.
Also request if you got any dietary suggestions for pure vegetarian or more or less vegans.
I think Dr. Joshi is addressing the diets for the diabetes patients. But if you want the personalized one, I can give you my number. You can just talk to me if that's required.
If you would please, yeah.
Yeah. I'll just share you my number in the chat box.
Thank you.
Haji, would you like to add anything in?
No, I think you and Kritika has done a wonderful job with that. She covered everything, and Kritika, Dr. Joshi ji will not be covering any more food, but if you link it with the food and the relevant topic you would like to do, I think that would be great.
I can do that.
Okay.
All right then.
No?
Anything else do you want me to address at the moment?
No, just say some more things about that emotional and food again. So we can just remember in the end. If you say it, so we'll remember for whole week again, and next week we'll see how it goes.
Just do you want me to summarize what I said?
Yes, please, yeah.
But the cravings, more on the cravings, how to stop the cravings.
Very easy. To stop the cravings, you have to bring in the balance. Like I tell, for both the body and the mind, you have to bring in the balance, and the balance will come from your diet, from your lifestyle, and from the medication if required. So once you have balanced that, once the sugar is not simply sitting there in your bloodstream, once there is a balance, you won't be having such kind of cravings. So these three things are going to balance it. And again, about the emotions and mind, as I said, emotions and your gut, as I said, these two things are interconnected, and we can also work on them through our diet. We should know how to eat, what to eat with our lifestyle, walk, dance, meditate, do yoga, or with the help of the medication that also has to be guided by an expert. And if that is convenient, the best thing about your emotion is to address them. Feel any name, just know how it feels and release it. This process, the last one which I've told you, is going to take a bit of time, but you have to practice it daily. And once it gets habitual, it will be more easier. You have to just change your outlook towards the problem. It's not the problem, it's just your feeling. And you have to accept it that way. And there is nothing wrong about the feeling. It's okay to feel that way. Just address it and let it. That's it. Anything else?
Thank you. Anybody have any questions?
If anybody is hesitant to ask me any question, I've given them my personal number. You can ask me. You can send me a text. I can respond to you personally as well as if anybody is hesitant to share their thoughts here.
No. Everybody's fine. That's nice.
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment, if you'll allow it. In Northwest London, the NHS have produced a wonderful website that we all follow on a weekly basis. And in case people are not aware of this website, it's called nodiabetes.org.uk, and I'll put it in the chat. It contains some wonderful advice, and within there, there is something called the Diabetes Community Club, which we then see in Harrow. So I'll put a little bit of information in the chat about that, but it's a really tremendous, like it's an award-winning website for people who are trying to understand more about diabetes and also trying to understand more about different types of cuisines and things. It's a really rich resource. I'll put the information down in the chat.
Yes, somebody just wrote it would be such a nice to have a useful session like this. Yes, we have this session every week. So there will be different topic, but next week also Dr. Kritika Pandey will come. So just join every week, hopefully. For Diwali, we're gonna close for the Diwali, that's the 24th or 25th, yes. So that week we don't have a session and then we continue again. So next week we do have a session. Please do join. Also Dr. Naya, I put YouTube address there that if you want to have a look. Again, this session, so recording will be there. And also previous recording are available too. So whenever you have a time, go to Arogyam UK website, find the YouTube, and then you will find all the recording there. Not just for the diabetes, there's loads of other recordings there as well. So just go for it whenever you have a time. And thank you. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nehaji. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
For joining.
Lovely.
Yeah.